Welcome to Healthy Frontiers. My name is Dr. Bizzoni. I'm a chiropractor, and this show is dedicated to the education of our viewers. And the topic for tonight is teenage entrepreneur. And my special guests are Michael and Marc Guberti. Michael is the 18-year-old co-founder of Teenager Entrepreneur. As a service-oriented entrepreneur who works to elevate the lives of others, Michael is a motivational speaker and has been featured in the Huffington Post, Westchester Business Journal, and other outlets for his achievements. Marc is the 17-year-old co-founder of Teenager Entrepreneur. The social media maven has over 160,000 Twitter followers because of his innovative, engaging, and effective content posts regarding social media optimization and monetization. He's a 10-time author, productivity master, and world-class digital marketer and social media strategist. I want to welcome you guys to the show. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Dr. Bizzoni.
Welcome, Marc. Great.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it. This is a very interesting subject, guys. So let's, how'd your business at Teenager Entrepreneur begin?
Well, originally, my brother and I started baseball blogs. Mine was about the New York Mets, his was about the Boston Red Sox, which are our favorite teams.
Okay.
And over time, we put a lot of work and research into these blogs, obviously, to foster quality content. And we wanted people to read it. If we were going to work so hard to write it, we might as well promote it out to the world. And as we mastered those promotional and content phases of this blogging industry, we ended up asking at some point, is there more meaning to be found with this? Are we going to spend our lives reporting on people and summarizing transactions of teams, or are we going to impact others in a positive way? And from that sentiment sprung the strategy of Teenager Entrepreneur, which is an entrepreneurship and personal development elevator for individuals serious about fostering positive change in their lives.
Great. Wonderful. So what services do you now offer, guys?
Well, the services that we offer include one-on-one coaching, where we coach small businesses and show them what they can do to get better results for their social media audiences and sales. Another thing we do is we do speaking engagements around the country where we talk about social media, blogging, and we just ultimately spread our message to more people so that more teens are empowered by it. And we also have online training courses where if someone's not nearby, someone's not in New York, we don't want geography to limit our capability to let people and teens learn about entrepreneurship.
Right. And this is very specific to teenager. This is where we're at this point, right, guys?
With this mantra that we have of age is no limit to success, it does cover the teenage demographic, but also the retiree.
Yeah.
Because, you know, age can apply in both extremes, young and old, so we cover both.
Great. Can you tell me more about the Teenager Entrepreneur Summer Boot Camp, which you guys hold at Fordham University?
Yes. Every July, we hold a 4-day immersive dynamic boot camp where we cover 4 pillars, what we call the pillars of progress, which are passion, product, promote, and propel. So on the first day following that schedule, we teach others to identify their passions and desires in life. What drives you? What gets you up in the morning?
Yes.
And from that one day, really, which is very transformative, I find, for most of the students, they have direction now. They have something to strive for, because it's hard to hit a target when you don't know what it is.
Right.
And now they have it. So from that first day, we take that intangible passion, which is in your mind, and manifest it in a product form, online or physical, where we teach them really, okay, now it's time to build a legacy. Build a creation that you can forever say, I made this. Like we wrote books, training courses, we can forever hold that to our name. From that product, we go to promote. For the simple fact that if you have the best services and the best products, but no one knows about you, you can't help other people, which is the goal. It really is. Elevation of others is a very noble attribute to strive for. And that's what we teach them in the 3rd day, which propels us into the final day, I just said it, which is propel.
Right.
We send them off in the realization that if they choose to take the helm of their life, they are the future of the business industry.
Right. And they have time to do this while they're in college, right? I mean, we didn't doing this at Fordham University, right? So you guys have to get a kind of grip on these students, huh?
Yes, we do. And one of the reasons that they come is because it really boosts their high school and college applications to say, I started a business.
Right. Great. Okay, so I have received significant recognition in the media for your efforts. What outlets have featured you and your business, Teenager Entrepreneur?
Well, I'll say that it's really a testimony of the message, I believe, of human elevation, in that the Huffington Post, the U.S. News and World Report, Yahoo Small Business Advisor, Westchester Business Journal, and a litany of others we've been honored to be featured in, because it validates the fact that helping others is a message that is congruent to the world. Everyone wants to, in some way, uplift, if not just themselves, which is also very possible in this program. In fact, one of the main goals, other people.
Right.
Through your improvement, you can improve others.
Right, great. And you won the Best Small Business Marketing Campaign of the Year award for infusing entrepreneurship with philanthropy. Can you elaborate on that, Mike or Mark? Both of you guys.
You want to take that? Or?
You take that.
Okay.
Okay, Michael.
We were, again, honored to win this Best Small Business Marketing Campaign of the Year award because we just acted in the sentiment that no one should be held back from achieving or learning an entrepreneurial education, even if income level would dictate that you should. So because we were holding the boot camp at Fordham in July, we went to New York schools, and we found students, ambitious students, who wanted to really package what they love into a lifetime career and income, and sponsored and scholarshiped them so they could attend, even when, sadly, normally they wouldn't be able to.
Right, great. Okay, so why do you perform these hyper-entrepreneurial projects in the name of helping others?
Well, we believe that it's just the right thing to do. We were blessed with great mentors who trained us through the process, guided us, taught us right from wrong. And these mentors ultimately really made us think, wow, we are so lucky, but not everyone has these type of mentors. So we want to be that mentor for the teens out there who don't have those mentors. And we also want to empower them with a proper education for being an entrepreneur. Education should be accessible, because that's basically, education is something like, it's vital. We need to have it. So we just want to give it out to the people who want it.
That's great. Okay, so where do you see this business, Teenage Entrepreneur, 5 years down the road, guys?
I see this as a educational and empowerment training service that has reached global length, educating anyone serious about making positive, meaningful change in their life, and doing so regardless of geographic location because of our online training. And through heightened promotional tactics, we can reach further people, which just elongates the message of elevating other people.
Right, that's great.
Thank
so
you.
Mark, in addition to Teenage Entrepreneur, you both have individual businesses. Mark, tell me about your enterprise.
Well, for mine, I create multiple products, so that means training courses, books. So I've written about 12 books so far, and I have 3 training courses up, which basically empower people in various areas of digital marketing and productivity. I also have a digital marketing blog that gets over 250,000 visitors every year, and it just continues to grow. And I'm also very popular on social networks such as Twitter, where I have over 160,000, as mentioned before, and over 15,000 on Pinterest as well. So I just keep on learning about the process, reading articles and books that allow me to just expand my knowledge, and then I share that with the world.
Right, and when you say with the world, is there a slant to teenagers again? I keep going back to this only because, I'm just curious, to be honest.
Well, we believe that we want teenagers to realize that they can be successful. They don't have to wait. They could go into the real world now and start making money by doing what they love to do. But we also want to show parents, adults, and even people who are just retired that they can be successful, they have a dream, and you can go after that dream.
Right. Many times I would think that once the parent gets it, then they're going to share it with their teenage child. Yes?
You'd think that'd be the trickle-down effect.
Right. Okay. So, Mark, what drives you to be so productive at such a young age, man? You're 17. Tell me.
Well, one of the things that drives me is that I just really live every day like it's my last, because I realize that there's going to be a time when the sand's going to get drawn. I mean, the line's going to get drawn on the sand, and lives don't last forever, but the legacies we leave behind do last forever. So I just want my legacy to be one of getting a lot of goals accomplished, being very productive, and being a great person.
That's great. Great, Mark. And what business growth do you see for yourself and your digital marketing and social media company in the next 5 years?
Well, one of the big goals would be to have 1 million Twitter followers.
Okay.
That's one thing I'm going for.
Right.
I'd also like to have hundreds of thousands of Pinterest followers and over 100 products that are both training courses and books, so that I'm sharing like a wide variety of knowledge so that my audience has more options. Because I know there are some people who aren't interested in Twitter but like Facebook, and vice versa. Like some people may want to learn more about one social network and not as much about the other. So I want to provide people with as many valuable options as possible so that they get the best learning experience.
That's great. You mentioned you have about 12 different books you've written, yes?
Yes.
Are they on digital? What is the general feel of those books?
The general feel of those books is digital marketing, so those books would be about various social networks, blogging, and then there are other books about leadership, such as my book, Lead the Stampede.
Okay, so a teenager, they're written again for anyone, I'm sure, but the teenager could get some knowledge if they go and find some of these books and read them.
Exactly, and I think especially since we're teenagers, it kind of serves as a testimonial, because some people say, oh, teenagers can be successful, it's possible, but we're living proof that teenagers can be successful.
That's great. Okay. So, Mike, we're going to ask you a couple of questions here. Okay, Mike, shifting gears to your business, you have a motivational company that inspires others to achieve. Provide further clarity for us.
Well, my company is similar to Teenager Entrepreneur in that, well, obviously we made it, but it empowers others through the similar facets: online training, in-person events, one-on-one coaching, geographic independent learning, where we learn to really take down the barriers in your own mind that you crafted, sadly, or someone else influenced upon you, that are holding you back from what you really can do. Because fear is a very big component of many people's lives, but those who get over that almost self-imposed limit can prosper beyond the lengths of anyone else.
Tell me about fear a little bit. Talk about that a little bit. I mean, that's not the number one, people fear being fearful. I mean, just to go up in front of an audience. And, I mean, isn't it best to just confront it and
Fear's
whip it?
I agree that fear's best friend is doubt. And they ask a question, essentially. They question you. Now, when you really turn the tables and you say, okay, who are you? And then that sometimes often points back to yourself. You're the one who's asking the questions, doubting your own validity. But if you learn to summon enough self-belief when you needed it, and realize that you are equipped just because you decide to be, then you're free, which is what we teach.
All right, perfect. Okay, so you're an author as well, Mike. What book did you write, and how does it positively impact others?
I wrote a book called SAT, ACT, Guide to Success, with a long title, and it finishes with From Mindset to Mathematics and Clock Management to College. So, this is a holistic overview of the very popular standardized tests, the SAT and ACT, where we go over how do you dominate on those, like really master them. First of all, it's not only the methods, because if someone can tell you, you got to read the paragraph this way, look for certain keywords that relate to the theme that can play into the reading comprehension questions. You can learn the mechanics, but do you have the mindset to implement what you learned? Are you on a course for mediocrity or mastery? That's a choice that we challenge you to make in the book. And once you decide to get over that Rubicon or stay where you are, we'll give you the characteristics of each question, the ins and outs, the operating system behind anything they can throw at you, so you know what to expect and dominate.
Wow. How do you feel about that? Talk about fear a little bit.
Well, fear is definitely something that plays a part in everyone's lives, but it's how we respond to it, and we look at the end goal. We look at, is it really worth it? So you want a goal, you want to pursue something, and then you realize it's all going to be okay in the end. I just have to keep going towards this goal, and then the fear, you just push at it. As it tries to push you, you just push it harder.
Right. Okay, so what's the major takeaway from both you guys, okay, on how to, as you call it, achieve peace and prosperity in the fields of personal development and entrepreneurship?
Why don't
You
you
want to go first, Mark? Mark?
Well, I believe that it's very important for individuals to believe in themselves. Like the most successful people of like various generations have said how important the mindset is. Henry Ford said that whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So it's what you think about goals and like other people and the way you live that determines your reactions. So the way you think just governs you into making certain decisions that allow you to either do something, that is if you believe in your ability, or not do something if you just don't believe in your abilities.
Right.
So you just have to believe in your ability to be successful and do what you want to do, and then with the right work, with the right momentum and learning new things, it will happen.
And I think what you just said is so key with the right work. You know, many people think this and, you know, motivational, oh, it's going to be great, everything is good. But unless you take some action steps, you ain't going to get as far as you possibly can, is that?
Yeah, like believing is the first step. You have to do the work, but believing is like the sort of like pushing the snowball down the hill, and then the snowball effect starts to make a bigger snowball.
Yeah, great. Okay. Mike.
And to finish that point, which I absolutely agree with, you need intention and initiative. Right. And my takeaway would be, on your path to success, there will be people who try to bring you down. They are otherwise known as the critics. Mm-hmm. So whenever you encounter them, have this mindset. What I created, which is R2C2, which is a acronym for ridicule is the respect of the critics paid to the champions.
Wow.
So no matter what they say, take it as a compliment, because they don't talk about ordinary people. They talk about extraordinary people.
Yeah, that's so true, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh, for sure. Okay, guys, so what age group would you be targeting, would you say? I mean, I know it says teenage entrepreneurship. I mean, do people start at 13? Are they going to get the message at 13 and on up? Just talk about that a little bit.
I would say from the ages of 11 to 18 is where the adolescent demographic falls in.
Right.
That's at least been our experience with the registrants of the boot camp. Mm-hmm. But I would also say that in the spirit of what we're based on, elevating others, we deal with retirees, older people. We're even branching out into veterans. When you talked about where this business will go 5 years from now, right. We look to empower those who have really given everything for the country and may come back, may not have an opening in the job market, but they can make much more of a meaningful, impactful difference through our teaching, which we would gladly supply to them and are trying to.
Have you found any resistance from, the senior group, say, because of your age? Has that ever, it's like, why am I going to trust you? You've only been here for 18 years, why don't,
I would say that the results validated by the media outlets we just discussed, as well as the research. Right. Because we put in years of diligent study to how to dominate in these certain areas and build a real lifestyle for yourself. And I think it's proven through our success.
Yeah, well, that's great. And how about books? Where would you find your books?
You can find my books on Amazon. Most of them are Kindle versions, but I have 2 books that are paperbacks where anyone could get them. You don't need to have a Kindle or a Kindle app. But just because you don't have a Kindle doesn't mean you can't buy a Kindle book. So there are like apps on the iPhone, on Android, and all the other phones called the Kindle app, which allows readers to get any book from the Kindle, even if they don't necessarily have a Kindle device.
Oh, I got it. Yep. Okay, that's great. Yeah. How about your book? Same thing?
Same exact format. We learn from each other, as you can see.
Yes.
So
you guys work as a great team here.
We try to. I mean, that's the whole design. If there was sibling rivalry, this business would not exist.
No, and I just think it's such a great, teenage entrepreneurship. You don't really see the teenage. You see business being addressed by motivational people and whatnot. I really haven't seen this much at all. Well, so I think it's a great opportunity for teenagers to kind of find out what you guys do. So I hope everybody goes to your site and, gets all this information they can, because they certainly would be winners,
Oh, I understand. I understand. And to that point, I mean, some of the most ambitious teenagers that would become the next world leaders, they just need some help, some leverage in teaching, which is playing to why we ask individuals, companies, school alumni to consider giving the gift of an entrepreneurial education to these people so they can grow.
Right. Now, certainly schools just don't have the amount of time, and their curriculums don't allow for it, so it has to be extracurricular. All right? And
it does. And you know what? It offers extracurricular results.
yeah, which is great. I mean, I'm saying extra, not that it's not as important. And, you know, there's certainly a lot of importance to what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's just that it's, you know, I think schools have to get through their program. They don't have time for that. So it's like a great thing that you guys come in and say, look, you know, this is what could be done too, take people into a different place.
We try to take them to the level that may be missing.
Yeah, which is great.
Thank you.
So any last thoughts on teenage entrepreneurship?
Do you have any?
Anything, Mark?
I think this is going to be one of those types of trends where it's starting to develop. We're starting to see more teenagers become successful. And I think as the years go by, more teenagers are going to move to entrepreneurship as a way to accomplish their dreams at a young age and become successful in the process. So this is going to be something that maybe 5 years, 10 years, or something like that. This is going to be something where, like, eventually maybe teenagers, most of them, being on the computer will be just as common as hanging out.
Right.
Doing this.
Do you ever fear, though, let me ask you this question. This is a very important question, I think, that you're going to introduce these teenagers while they're still in school to, you know, all the great benefits of entrepreneurship, and then they're going to kind of not go to college, or they're not going, well, if they're in college, they're going to say, well, why do I need college? You know, I mean, does that ever...
Well, I would say introducing them to business and entrepreneurship, which does involve a lot of personal growth, is incredibly beneficial because it's a whole learning experience they might not have been but experienced in their lifetime. And
nobody ever introduced it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
We're trying to enlighten the entrepreneurial mindset and methods onto them, which I think can only benefit them in the process of creation and, most importantly, serving other people.
Right. Well, that's great, guys.
Thank you.
Well, that's the Teenage Entrepreneur. And, Michael, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Dr. Bazzani.
Mark, thanks so much for being on the show. You guys were great.
Thank you.
Again, what a terrific show, and we'll see you on the next show. Thank you for being so attentive.